Welcome to the Arsenal Strength Podcast, where each week the coaches of Arsenal Strength talk fitness, nutrition, and building a healthier Pittsburgh, one podcast at a time. For the video version, head over to arsenalstrength.com. Now, here's your host, Brooks DeFury.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Arsenal Strength Podcast. My name is Brooks DeFury, and I'm standing here with Bethany Perry and Frankie Mastroianni.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Frankie Mastroianni.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just drove up here to talk to you guys about nutrition and training.
All the good stuff.
All the
coffee.
good stuff. And coffee.
Yeah.
And abs.
And abs. And how we're looking for them before the podcast.
Yeah. We couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Go into a little, Frankie owns Active Works Nutrition. Go into a little bit of how you got into nutrition.
So, actually, one of my friends had me coach for their company. So, like, I was on as a client, and he was a really big help. His name's Bobby, and he brought me on. And nutrition has been, like, a self-exploration thing for, like, 4 years, since like 2012, and I've always trained hard, but I never really like had the nutrition part dialed in. So, you know, he had me working with one of his coaches, and I really started to see results. And then he was like, "Hey, you want to coach?" So, decided to do that. And after I started to coach some clients, I wanted to start my own thing. So that's whenever I merged off and started Active Works Nutrition, and yeah, now I coach clients.
So when you say nutrition,
athletes.
what are you focusing on specifically with a new client?
Oh, man.
If I come to you as a new client and I have zero idea how to eat, I'm like, Frankie, get me jacked.
Oh, man.
Give me abs.
So,
What do you?
Give me abs.
Give me abs.
And that's pretty typical, actually. Like, people come to me. The first thing I ask them is, like, where are we at right now? Like, the past, I mean, even like 4 years, like, what have you done the past 4 years? What have you tried? What do you not like? Where are we at currently with your lifestyle? You know,
I like cookies.
Yeah. So like, I need to know that. Like, where are we at now as far as like where you, based on your goals? We all like cookies. And then
croissants.
you know, where do you want to go? So, where are we at? Where do we want to go from there? And from there, I just, you know, learn more about you as I possibly can, the most about you that I can.
How many of your clients are just like average everyday people just looking to get in shape and be healthy? And
Oh,
then
man,
how
I
many,
have, like-
do you have like a lot of competitive athletes, or is it?
I have like probably 3 or 4 competitive athletes.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of the rest are just normal people.
So walk me through the process. If I come to you, what happens? We have our initial consultation.
So I like to have a phone call with people before they even think about signing up, just to like determine whether or not like what I do with them is something that they would that would fit their lifestyle for sure. Because if it doesn't fit your lifestyle and you hate it, there's no point in even doing it, and we're both wasting our time, right? So pretty much, I'll ask you where we're at, where you want to go, and then from there, I'll tell you everything that we need to do and how we're going to get you to where we need to be, right? So if you're telling me this is where we're at as far as weight and composition, and you want to lose 20 pounds, we obviously have to look at, you know, what have we been doing the past 6 months or the past year as far as like eating wise? Do we have any idea of where your calories are at? And I need to know that, and how you've been responding, like your energy levels and your sleep, and then we'll get into like training volume and intensity and what you're training. You know, are you weightlifting or something like that?
So when we say nutrition, are we talking about like zone diet here? Are we talking about counting macros?
Macros.
Yeah. All right, go into that a little bit.
All right.
For anyone who has no idea even what a macro is, what are macros?
So all food in existence are composed of macros, and macro is short for macronutrient, and a macronutrient is a protein, a carb, or a fat. Okay. The way that the body responds is not necessarily always focusing on quality. So, for example, if you eat chicken breast and broccoli every day, let's say you do that, right, Brooks? Let's say
That's exactly my diet.
That's
every day.
everything Brooks eats right there.
Bethany and Brooks eat chicken and broccoli every day. So
Chocolate.
I need to know. I need to know whether or not that's 500 calories or 10,000 calories.
And why is that important?
Why is that important? Because it's all about calorie intake versus output.
So calories in versus calories out.
Energy expense. Yeah, exactly.
Simple math.
Yeah, it's simple. Like
So there's no magic food out there?
no, there's no magic food. It's about how much. Like, you can eat the healthiest food in the world, but if you eat too much of it, you're gonna get fat. That's just end of
So
story.
disappointing.
Knowledge
Yeah.
bomb.
Reality.
Reality.
Setting in.
Yeah, and I mean, like, ideally, it just depends on the person's lifestyle and, how they live. They can eat, like, a Pop-Tart and be fine, but some people can't. Some people spiral out. So, and then you look at the quality side of things after quantity. But
when you get into, like, going through this with new athletes, do you generally find that there's, like, an overwhelming majority of people who are either taking in too many carbohydrates and not enough fat, or too much fat and not enough carbohydrates? Is there like any sort of
oh man, it's
pattern
typically
there?
people are under eating.
Yeah,
Like for sure. It's usually people
yeah.
don't eat enough, and it's typically. Well, I do work with a lot of people who are really active, and I work with some people who aren't so active and just do normal everyday like global gym workouts. But typically, especially the people in the CrossFit scene, are just deprived of energy. Like they don't eat any carbs, and I don't want to like, it's kind of the paleo thing. It's kind of because people think, high fat, high protein, but most people undereat, especially in carbohydrates, which is why they're always so tired during training.
well, especially when people are strict paleo and they're training hard, right? Because, I mean, paleo's meats and veggies, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar.
Yeah.
If you're training at a very high volume, it's hard to get in carbohydrates just off of veggies and things like
you're gonna be
sweet
so
potato.
full.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're gonna be so full, right?
Yeah.
And, like the volume of food you have to eat to get that in is just not gonna happen.
Yeah. And then we look at like the fat and protein content because paleo is super high fat and high protein. But let's keep in mind, like,
What's the problem with being super high fat? So can you go into calories when we start talking about like per gram of food? So if we're going to measure macros, right, and let's just say, just for the sake of simplicity, you tell me I have to eat 100 grams of protein, 100 grams of carbohydrates, and 100 grams of protein. Again, just for the sake of being simple. Why is it important to make sure that I understand the amount of calories in every gram of that food?
Pretty much the protein and carbohydrate have the same caloric value per 1 gram.
What is that?
So 1 gram of protein and carb is 4 calories, right? Fat has 9 calories per 1 gram, which is why fat is typically less for people who are highly active, right? And as we spoke about, macronutrient prescription, like it's just depending on the specific person. Protein is typically like goal body weight in grams, right? So let's say I want to weigh like 170. My protein right now is at 170. Carbohydrate, and you have to make sure that you eat all of it. Like that's one of the most important macronutrients. Carbohydrate, that is interchangeable a lot. It just depends on activity level, intensity, and how you're responding to that. And then fat, we just have to find something good enough to keep, your hormones at a great level, because that's what fat is for, really.
Right, and if we're talking about like carbohydrates for activity level, that's obviously going to vary for someone who just works out once a day than for someone who's trying to be like a competitive athlete.
Yeah, for sure. Like man. So the guys at the top level eat like a lot, or should be eating a lot. Like like myself, I'm upwards of 400 grams, right? And I didn't just start off there. I had to like slowly, progressively like reverse diet myself all the way up to 400 grams of carbs, right? And even then, it was really slow. Like Bethany, I just increased her carbohydrates. I've been working for her for 12 weeks, and after we got down to the comfortable body fat composition, we then started to slowly increase her carbs, because now what? Now she wants to compete.
So let's rewind that. How did you and Bethany start working together? How'd that come about?
I did a nutrition seminar on flexible dieting here at Arsenal Strength for a lovely group of people.
ArsenalStrength.com.
Yeah, Arsenal Strength.
Nice little plug. I mean, you're here anyways, so hello.
And I actually reached out to Bethany because I saw her and she was like, "Hey, have a great seminar," and then she left. So I was like, "Who the hell is that?" So I reached out to her.
For work.
Yeah, I reached out to her and I saw she's a CrossFitter and I thought she had a lot of potential. So we've been working for 12 weeks ever since.
So when Bethany, guide me through like that initial conversation when you and Bethany started to work together.
Oh man, like I think we just started talking about food, really.
Yeah.
Like I just asked like, how she knew you and stuff like that, and how things were going, like her lifestyle, and we just like small talk pretty much. It wasn't really anything complex. And then from there on, she was talking about dialing in her nutrition, and I wanted to help. So we just started working, and throughout that process, we just have clearly defined her goals and have been working towards those for sure.
And how has that been working out?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm kidding.
Yeah. She's got her first muscle
No,
up
I mean
yesterday.
seriously. I mean, nutrition for me was something that I had wanted to work on for a while. I didn't know where to start. I would look up things online and be like, oh God, how do you even figure that out on your own? And I think trying to dial in nutrition by yourself and not having the guidance or the knowledge of somebody who has been doing it for so long there with you I think it's very difficult unless you're super disciplined on your own. It wasn't but I wasn't enough to the point where I could just pick up and find a
fine-tune
macro
everything.
calculator and be like, all right, this is what I'm going to eat. Like, no. So, yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing process. So, like you said, we've been working together for over 3 months now, really. And in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't that long. But the amount that I have grown as an athlete, and I think my discipline and the way that I look at food has completely changed.
Yeah.
Because before I was just, I mean, everybody knows I love donuts. Like,
Yeah.
I love donuts.
We
I
all
love
love
pizza. I love whiskey.
And there's so many donut places here in Pittsburgh too. So that
Yeah,
makes
ish.
it ish.
But I would just eat whatever the heck I wanted. I'm like, it's fine. Like, I'm training super hard, and I'll just do an extra workout tomorrow and be okay. And that's not the way that nutrition works.
Right.
Before you dialed in your nutrition, do you think that you had any idea how much it was impacting you and your performance?
I think I may have had an idea, but no clear picture as to how that was. So, yeah, no, I really don't think I had any idea, because I think I would be so much further in CrossFit or just as an athlete now if I had dialed this in a lot sooner, but better late than never. So
Yeah, for sure. I think we always think like I have an idea of where I'm at, but I don't really know, So I kind of have to take a step back and get like objective reviews. Like my coach is telling me like this is good or this is bad. So, and in my head I'm like, I suck, right? So most of the time I'm like, man, like I'm not doing enough, right?
And that's a natural feeling
Yeah.
for everybody. You're always like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I don't know where I should be.
Or conversely, like I'm doing the best I've ever done, right? But in reality, you could be doing the worst. That's just how it is. Like we just have to have that outside opinion. I think that really helps us clearly understand like where we're at and where we could go if we want to go there and how to get there.
yeah,
And that's kind of the route that we took with you, is like, and the great thing is like most people are, whenever they start out looking into nutrition, they don't really feel good about themselves, right? Like that's just a typical scenario. So Bethany came to me and she loved herself, which is easy, like she really, like it doesn't matter like where she was at. She
not in a pompous way.
no, like she just loved her body where she was at, which is really cool, because I mean, I think everybody has some sort of insecurity for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if you have that foundation and it's not really for like, would it be vanity? Like just be like focusing on how good I look all the time. Like we then made immediate progress because she was able to just, enjoy the way she looked no matter what was happening. Right. And we were just focusing on eating tons of food and keeping track of it and checking in. So, I mean, from there, she's just been really successful, and she got her first muscle up yesterday, too.
She did.
Ballin'.
She got 2.
She got 4,
Like 5
actually.
total, but
I did 4 or 5.
She's gonna RX
I think
Amanda
I
here
did 9 or
soon.
10 yesterday.
that's impressive.
You did 9 or 10?
Yeah.
Show off.
No,
Right.
I'm not. I was in here alone.
Yeah.
Showing off to myself. I was just like screaming, squealing at the top of the ring. So excited.
I got off the
but-
plane and she showed me a video of her doing a muscle up, and she sent me another video. It was like, and then I decided to try this, and I thought she was gonna go kick up into a ring handstand like I did, and I was like, I hope to God she falls through the rings like I did.
Did you happen to take that video down? Because I went back and looked for it. I couldn't find.
On Instagram?
I don't think so.
It better still
I think
be there.
I think it's still up there for sure. I took the first one down because there was no sound, and I wanted you guys to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
Bethany laughing at me in the background.
Yes, yeah.
It was, that bucket's still there, so
If
I
you
kicked the
guys
bucket.
are on Instagram, look up at Frankie Maz. That's MAZ.
humiliating.
And look at him falling
not
on
Arsenal
his face.
I did
There were
sign a
no
waiver.
coaches involved in that.
Oh,
That
man.
was his own doing.
I like to just hurt myself.
Besides
randomly.
that,
The best video ever.
besides that little mishap, Frankie's actually a very good CrossFit. Sorry. Frankie's actually a very good CrossFit athlete.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, just working every day, working out, doing a lot of exercise.
And you've been
Little
pretty
meathead.
competitive for a little while now.
Yeah. Since I started, man.
Yeah.
Like the day I started, I got beat by a whole bunch of girls.
Oh,
Like-
who doesn't? What guy doesn't?
I mean, dude, like I was overweight and I used to smoke and drink a lot. And I got beat by a whole bunch of girls, and I was like, man. But-
Screw that.
You're
Yeah,
getting ready
screw
for the Granite Games in September?
Yeah, September 9th.
Woo.
Or September 8th, going up to Minnesota and competing at the Granite Games. I went last year, and this year's kind of like redemption for, psychologically trying to get past what happened last year.
I mean, that's a pretty big time competition.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
about
can go brag on yourself a little bit.
no, I mean,
Come on. What'd you take? 18th overall of all
yeah,
the men
17th
in the entire
qualifier
the whole
of
world.
the world. Yeah,
17th out of how many athletes?
4,000.
4,000.
4,000
That's
athletes.
freaking
That's absurd.
amazing.
Yeah, that's
That's
ridiculous.
right. You can be my coach forever.
So Kyle and I, my coach for Training Think Tank, I was talking to him about like the big event. So you said big, right? And he was like, we don't even need to look at it like a big event. Like it's just another event, right? It's not a big competition. It's just an event. And it's not going to determine how good you are as an athlete. It's just going to give you like a reference point as to, the work that we've done this far. And, that was the last individual competition that I did was the Granite Games last year. Yeah, so I haven't competed as an individual for over a year. So the way that we were talking about it was like, I do it every day. I train every day and I compete every day with myself. I train alone in a garage most of the time with my buddy Lucas Borden. And sometimes he's not there, so it's just me. In the past 2.5 years, it's been training alone and just got to go and work out and have fun. Like, way too much stress last year, and this year I'm going in with, like, a way different attitude. Like, I'm not checking the leaderboard. I was too focused on other people.
And you're going in there to win this thing this year.
Trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to fly just to participate again.
No.
So, the only thing that I could really say is I'm just going to go give 100% every event, not think ahead to all the other events, and just if my 100% is good enough to win, then so be it. If it's not, what can I work on from there? Like, it's out of my control.
Give me 2 exercises that you really want to see at the Granite Games, and then 2 exercises you absolutely just do not want to see.
Oh, man. I want to see thrusters and muscle-ups.
Thrusters and muscle-ups?
Yeah.
What do you not want to see?
Or handstand push-ups. I'm really good at those.
Yeah.
What I not want to see?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Like, I know we're going to see some sort of, like, running or assault bike.
Always.
Right? Or ski erg, like that ruined me
Anything
last year.
cardio.
And yeah, anything like any erg, like rowing.
Anything?
Actually, I've been rowing a lot. So I'm cool with the row. I'm not cool. The assault bike's gonna suck. But no, it's gonna be great, right? Like I can't go in saying, "Oh, this is gonna suck," because then I'm gonna get destroyed. But going in assault bike, I know it's gonna be there. I'm just waiting on it. But ski erg, I hope to God there's not a ski erg there.
Nice. And you just got back from training in Vegas.
Yeah.
How was that?
Dry.
Was there training in Vegas?
Cottonmouths. Oh, man. Yeah, we trained. I got to Vegas dude. So Thursday, I got to Vegas, stayed the night, hung out with Jason Phillips all day. So we talked a lot about nutrition and coaching. And then one of his athletes, Nick Hecht, which is also an athlete under my coach, Kyle, we trained together at CrossFit Max Effort. And that was really fun. I PR'd my snatch.
What'd you hit?
10-pound PR at 275. Yeah. Super dehydrated.
little-
I can deadlift that most days.
But it was fun, man. Like,
God.
Kyle gave us the same programming, so I got to train with a really, really, really good competitor. If you guys look him up, Nick Hecht, he's going to be at the games. I guarantee it. Like, he's going to be a top competitor at the games.
What region is Vegas?
Southwest, I think. Is that a region?
I don't know.
South Central, Southwest. I don't know. I think South Super Regional is where he's at, though.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
he placed
okay.
22 last year, but he's going to be good, man. And it was really cool to, like, compete with him, and just train with him. He's a really cool guy. Everybody there was, like, really cool. So it was a good experience.
That's awesome.
I died, though. Like, I died.
Very
I was so
nice.
dehydrated.
Well, if people want to find you for either nutrition advice or just on Instagram, where can they go?
At Frankie Mas.
At Frankie
Yeah,
Mas.
just follow me or ask
And-
any questions.
And activeworksnutrition.com.
Act-nutrition.com. It's so weird. I don't know why I changed it.
Active.
ACT-nutrition.com.
Act-nutrition.com.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Show notes.
for
In
sure.
the show notes. For everybody else listening, if you don't follow us on Instagram, go follow Arsenal Strength on Instagram. Follow Ms. Bethany,
Miss Bethany
Joy.
It's my middle name.
Ms. Bethany Joy. Go on Facebook, give us a like, leave us a 5-star review. 5-star reviews only.
5-star only. If
5-star
you review
only.
anything less, you're horrible.
And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks,
Yeah.
Frankie.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Love and little donuts.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to take your health and fitness to the next level, head over to arsenalstrength.com and sign up for a free no sweat intro. See you next week.